want to move on. Okay. Right. So again, talking about LinkedIn here on your profile, make sure that your profile is complete. Get a good shot on there. Fill this in. Headline, don't always put the current position. I changed this, but you may want to put something in your headline about something specific that you do, something that catches people's attention. Education, you may want to put some more credentials in there rather than education for you as a realtor. Greater New York City area is good. Put your industry in here, and then make sure the summary has kind of an elevator pitch, but again, specifically what you want people to connect with you about, whether if you're an investor type of a realtor, if you're luxury, if you're lower end, if you're REO properties, whatever it may be, that's what you want to put in your summary, because that's what LinkedIn is going to link you up with, okay? Media, you can put a short video presentation about yourself, a link. I have a link to my website on here so people can take a look at that. You can also put a link back to Facebook or something else if you wanted to, okay? All right, so make sure this is complete. Please, please, please make sure your profile is complete. You don't want an empty profile. You do want some activity. I have 1,400 followers on here. I have about 2,000 connections total. On here, it'll show your recent activity, things that you put on here. Or that you were recently involved in, liking, replying to, involved in a conversation, much like Facebook. Experience, this is kind of more the resume part of it, okay? I don't recommend putting every single job you've ever worked on here, right? I worked at McDonald's, I worked at a car wash, right? You want to put on more your professional experience on here, and that's fine. That's what most people do, right? I have obviously my current here, my 2 other businesses that I have on here, and what I've done in the past. Okay, education, again, I put where I'm federally licensed in, because if realtors are searching me, they want to know where I do business, right? Because that's important. Volunteer experience on here, that's always good. Put some volunteer experience, things that you've done in the past that lets people know you're involved in the community, right? It's not all business. That gets them a little bit more insight to who you are in your personal life, right? You want to add different skills on here, skills, right? So I have all these different things on here. People have endorsed me for loan origination, mortgage lending, so on and so forth. For you, it'd be, first-time home buyers, luxury real estate, whatever the case may be, okay? Interests, recommendations, and everything. Actually, I used to have 3 on here, but I think when I merged my profile, I got rid of them, but not a big deal. It is good to have some recommendations if you can on there. Ryan, recommend me, one of you guys. Help me out. But again, not a big deal. I've done a ton of business without them, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. Much like getting reviews and those things on Facebook, and sometimes that kind of stuff isn't a huge loss or gain. Languages, if you do speak different languages, please put that on there. Accomplishments, certifications, I put myself as safe licensed or whatever. If you're, $1 million club, silver, platinum producer, whatever the case, always put those things on there, because success attracts success, right? They don't really give out a whole lot of things for mortgage reps. They don't have any kind of, cross-country recognition other than just top this or top that in your company. So there's really not a whole lot of credentials that we could put on there about ourselves. Interests, right? These are different interests that you follow, or groups that you may be in. People that I follow, if I take a look to see all, right, you can see the influencers that I follow, the companies that I follow, and the groups that I'm in as well. We're going to talk a lot about groups. Influencers on your news feed, whatever these people post will always pop up in here. It's good to follow if you like these people. I do follow Bill Gates because I like to keep up with what he's doing. Arianna Huffington, I don't agree with a lot of what she says, but I do respect the success that she has had. Mark Cuban, respect his success. Robert Herjavec, big fan of him. Barbara Corcoran. One thing she is known for is being very cutting edge in what she does in real estate in the city population, which is why I follow her. Again, there's specific reasons why I do these things. Jim Cramer, investor. Don't agree with a lot of his philosophies, but I tell you what, if he normally says buy this or sell this, he's 99% of the time he's right. Susie Orman, I can never watch her television show. It's very annoying, but she does have a lot of good advice to give. So that's why I follow these people. Companies, Some of these companies I follow because I want to know what's going on with them. I want to keep tabs on them. Some of these companies I don't even like. I just do want to follow them to make sure because they're competitors in my area. So that's a tip for you guys. Groups, most importantly, groups. We're going to go over how to create those and how to join them, right? I'm in a few of them. Mortgage Bankers Association, Audi Owners and Enthusiasts, Back to Basics Marketing, Encompass Users. That's a mortgage software. Loan Modification Saving Monthly Mortgage Networking Group. That's a good group where I can get leads out of. Loan Officer Marketing Lab. I should join other ones as well, but these are the ones I'm in. Like I said, I'm as guilty as anybody is not being involved in this LinkedIn as I should. But I am involved in it on a regular basis, though. So that's your profile. Make sure, again, that this is full because as your networking groups, like everybody wants more visitors. If I said, hey, listen, if I could show you guys how to spend 15 minutes a week on LinkedIn and get 5 more deals a year, would you do it? Everybody would say, of course I would do it. 15 minutes a week to get 5 more deals a year, that's probably like, I don't know, that's $30,000, $40,000, $50,000, maybe more in income per year, depending upon what type of business that you do. So everybody wants more business, but again, you have to do the things right to make sure, right, that that the business that you're going to get is quality and that you're seen as a quality person on here, because that is important, okay? It's not so much what your profile looks like, it's more that it's complete and that it brands you with the type of person that you are, okay? So make sure your profile is complete on here. Again, remember, the type of people that you're networking with, average salary on LinkedIn is over $100,000 per user. Average user 15 minutes a week as opposed to 2 hours a day on Facebook. So you have a small window of time to get in front of people who are like you, successful, the people you want to be like in the groups and the tribes, so to speak, that you want to be involved with. Okay, because it's not very social, so you're going to have to market and go after people for specific reasons. Okay, so we're going to go over groups here. Okay, now if I were a realtor, let's pretend, because I'm going to pretend to be you. Okay, nice search. I'll just do real estate. Let's start there. If I type in the search button here, I can go to people, jobs, posts, companies, groups, schools. Very similar to Facebook. I'm going to go to groups. Right, so I type in groups, man, I could be on here for days and find all these different real estate groups that are created, right? Pete Asmus, he's huge, man. He's killing it. He's got a number of groups in here. We're over a couple million people total that he's got. Real estate networking group, investor strategies, right? 700,000 people. Another one, commercial investment, 160. He's got another one, distressed, 156. I mean, he's got a ton of these people. Now remember, think about this. It took him years to build this up, right? You can do this quickly, but even if you didn't have 100,000, even if you had 10 or 5,000 people that you could constantly market yourself to, that's the power of this social media and the group function within both Facebook and LinkedIn. Okay. Again, LinkedIn, it's a lot more shorter to the point where you're marketing and you're going after people. So you want to make a good connection on LinkedIn, okay, to eventually funnel them into Facebook. Okay, 99% of the time, if you have a LinkedIn profile, you're going to be on Facebook as well. Most times people are on Facebook and they're not on LinkedIn, to be honest. So if you're going after somebody on LinkedIn, you make a good connection. You want to friend them on Facebook too, because remember, on LinkedIn, you only get in front of them about 15 minutes a week, and you could not get in front of them for months, right? Because they just wouldn't see your face or see your posts on there if they're only on there for 15 minutes a week. So once you make a good connection, and by good connection, I mean somebody who you've chatted with, or you've said, hey man, thanks for connecting with me, or you're constantly seeing their posts and they're on there a lot, and they're willing to friend you on Facebook, send them a friend request on Facebook so that you can get in front of them for longer and get more exposure to them on a regular basis, okay? So the strategy that I have is this. You're making a connection on LinkedIn. I typically accept just about every request on LinkedIn that there is, unless it's a recruiter and they're annoying or something similar to that. But once you make a connection on LinkedIn, if you need to do some research on that person, right? Let's just use somebody as an example. Okay. So let's go over some of the ones that have recently connected with me. I'm going to go somebody for real estate. Adam Mohammed, he works with one of the credit repair guys I work with. Dave Wainwright, okay? You guys know his name. He's one of the REO kings of Morris County, right? We have 88 mutual connections. So what do I know? I know there's a lot of lenders out there trying to get his business. Now, he does a lot of REO, bank-owned properties. So I know one thing, a lot of the percentage of people who are going to be buying his properties are going to be buying them cash, and they're investors, right? But that means one thing. That means eventually those investors are either going to flip and sell them, so somebody else is going to be buying them, so I could connect with him to connect with the investors, or there's also a small portion of people who are going to be buying his REO and his distressed properties for 203Ks, which we do. Our office does a lot of, so I could get a lot of that business as well. So I definitely could get business from Dave, right? And the mindset is this. Remember, you want to connect locally. That's very important. Connect locally. Don't just be connecting with people out in California unless somehow you have a way to get business from those. Connect with people locally, right? The top realtors know the top mortgage people. That's it. So you want to connect with the people locally who are going to get you in front of other people to get business from, okay? Once you make a good connection, I know Dave, but once you make a good connection, you want to call them. Reach out, call them. You can shoot them a message. I like to say, hey, thanks for connecting me. Real appreciate it. Hope we can share some ideas to help grow each other's business. I usually say something generic like that, something casual, to where it's not a hard sell. But then what I'll do is I'll reach out to them because most of the time that these people have their phone numbers on here, or again, most times if they don't, you can just Google them and their phone numbers everywhere to be found. So call them, reach out to them. Hey, thank you so much for connecting with me on Facebook. Wanted to reach out. I saw you do business with a lot of REO properties. We do a lot of 203Ks. So I was looking just to maybe share some ideas, find out, some more about your buyers, see how maybe that could help us with marketing to those type of buyers, whatever it may be, right? You both know that you're there to get business from each other. If I reach out to him, if he was brand new and I reached out to him and he never knew me from anybody, he would know that I'm there to get some business from him. Right. So we want to get to the point. Listen, want to reach out to you. Saw you do a lot of REO properties. We do a lot of 203Ks. Just would love to share, what we can do for you and maybe how we can grow your business as well. Fine. Maybe how we can have some buyers and find some buyers for you. Right. Remember, we're givers, not takers. Okay. So you want to always, when you're reaching out to people for business purposes, the first thought that pops through somebody's head is, what's in it for me? Right? And we're all guilty of the exact same thing. What's in it for me? How does this benefit me and my business? So when you're reaching out to somebody, you want to pitch them on something, on meeting with you, on sitting down with you, because you have something that can help their business. Okay. So if I was reaching out to somebody who does a lot of REO properties, I would say, listen, we do a lot of REOs, so I think I can help you find some buyers for your properties. Right. We do a lot of REOs, so I know 5 or 6 different investors that maybe I could introduce you to that may be interested in the properties that you have as well. Would you sit down with me? I think we can mutually benefit with this, right? Most realtors who are involved in that space would probably say yes, right? So call them, reach out to them, connect locally with them so you can meet them for a face-to-face. Now remember, let's say this was me, okay? And I was reaching out to Dave, right, for the first time, right? Does he have a lot of buyers that are my ideal buyer? No, he does not, right? I don't want to go after REO properties. That's me personally. There may be loan officers who would. I don't like to go after those properties, right? But what he can introduce me to is, number one, other real estate agents who could have my ideal clients. That's number one. Number two, he could introduce me to other builders and investors who are going to be buying his properties, who would then flip them to other people. So it's not necessarily in LinkedIn, it's not just going after this profile saying, man, I can get a ton of business from this particular person. No. It's going after them, and you don't want to just see them as the ultimate end all. You want to see through the person, right? I don't just see a connection. I see who that person could connect me with, right? There have been many people I've met through LinkedIn that I've never even closed a deal with, but they've introduced me to 5 other people I've closed hundreds of deals with. Right? That's the power of it. Because if I can do one thing to help Dave out, Dave will probably introduce me to 3 or 4 of his top investors who do buy his properties, people he does know who can connect me with their buyers. And that's what I want. Okay, so again, you want to see, not just see the connection, but see through the connection to the other people who they can connect you with. Okay, remember, the best client of yours as a realtor, as a mortgage rep, as whether you do insurance, whether you do anything, right? The best connection for you is another closer. Okay, is another high producing entity. It's not the buyer. It's not the seller. The best client for you is somebody who's going to introduce you to 10 buyers, somebody who's going to introduce you to 20 sellers. That makes sense, right? My client is not the borrower, right? That's kind of like the grandkids, so to speak, right? Right. My parents, when I send my kids over there, right, they love them, they sugar them up, they make them all happy, but then guess what? They give them back to me, right, at the end of the day. But you as referral partners, that's more like having kids because I've got to take care of you on a regular basis. You give things to me on a regular basis. I help you on a regular basis, right? It's a mutual beneficial relationship that is on a constant over and over and over again. So the best client for me is not the borrower. My client is you as a realtor because you will introduce me to 10 borrowers. And that's the mindset you have to have when you're working with LinkedIn a little bit, okay? So let's jump in here to groups. So how do you get to groups? You click on work right up here. Click on groups. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. Just click on groups. We go to my groups, right? If you want to discover groups, you can search groups, and based upon what you have in your profile, it will suggest a lot of things on here that it thinks you may be interested in. So we click on my groups. Again, these are the groups that I'm involved in. Click create a group. You can create your own just like on Facebook. Okay, put a title in there, upload group logo, description, what's it about. You can put group rules. Always put group rules in here. All right, standard groups. Members can invite other members. Group visible in search results. You do want that because you do want to get a lot of people in here. Okay, so you can create a group. Again, if you just take a look at this is a lot easier to create than one on Facebook, right? On Facebook, man, you have all kinds of filters, all kinds of functions that you can put in a group or on a page. On LinkedIn, again, it's much, much less. So if you create it, you're the admin. You can add other admins on here as well, right? So now why am I creating a group on Facebook? Why would I create one? I would create one because I want to attract other realtors. I want to attract people with marketing. I could create a group on here. I have that I would put a lot of marketing helps in there for other real estate agents, other people that would attract them. And what am I doing? I'm giving to get, right? I'm giving them free marketing advice, free things that are going to help them in exchange for business and loyalty, right? Much like what I'm doing right now, right? So on here, if you're a realtor, who are your top connections, so to speak, who can connect you with other buyers, other sellers, right? For you, they're investors. That's number one. People who are going to buy that multifamily property as a buy and hold, or people who are going to flip it. Investors. Maybe people are going to buy cash. We all know that's nice. Not for me as the mortgage guy, but for you as real estate professionals, cash is always nice, right? Believe it or not, credit repair specialists can help you realtors a lot. And I'll tell you why. Because now not all, but most credit repair companies and credit repair reps out there are desperate for business, man. They need business like we need water to drink, okay? And they will help you till the end of the earth to get some business from you or to get introduced to other people, right? So, well, who in the world does a credit repair person know? Credit repair people know the people who who they've been fixing their credit, who couldn't buy a home a year ago, who couldn't buy a home 6 months ago, and their loan officer hasn't kept in touch with them, or they've fallen off the bandwagon, and finally their credit's good after 6 months or 8, 9 months or a year or longer, and now they have a well-qualified buyer, right? So in exchange for sending some people their way, right, or introducing them to other people, what you could say is, listen, I'd love to introduce you to other people that could help grow your business. In exchange, I'd love for you to send me people who are now well qualified, and I'll send you some of mine as well. So credit repair reps, credit repair agencies can be a great source of business for you guys as realtors. A lot of realtors don't think of them as that. They think, oh, they're always dealing with the lender, but not so. Most lenders do not follow up with their clients, so they send to credit repair. A lot of credit repair agencies take longer than they should. So for you as a realtor, it is a benefit if it takes them a year to get the credit repaired or however long. After that point, they've lost contact with just about everybody. You can scoop in there and help them say, listen, all right, now it's time for me to help you as a buyer. Okay. So credit repair agencies are a great source of business for you. Financial advisors, number 3. Financial advisors are a good source of business for you to connect with on LinkedIn, right? Most people, again, now we're talking about quality, right? Most people who have a higher end income, higher end homes, are going to consult either their CPA or their financial advisors before they sell their home, or before they buy another one. Okay, maybe they're going to talk about liquidating some stock. Maybe they're going to talk about moving some money around in their 401k to purchase a home, right? Different things like that. And most times, if they're a smart buyer, they're going to do that prior to talking to a realtor or to a mortgage rep. Most of the people that I do business with, most of the buyers that I have, borrowers who need a mortgage from me, have spoken to their financial advisor. I would say about 70% of them. Think about that. 7 out of 10 of my buyers who have a financial advisor have spoken to their financial advisor prior to even speaking to me or another realtor about purchasing a home. Right? So it'd be nice to get those buyers before you have to compete with them on the street. Think about if you could get 2 financial advisors under you who have a good amount of business. And the one thing about financial advisors is they're always looking to grow their business, right? They're always looking to grow their business, always looking to get new people. I'm meeting with a financial advisor. I have one that I like. I'm meeting with another one in a totally different region. Why? Because he wants to grow his business, and I do too. So he knows 3 or 4 good realtors in that area. So he's going to introduce me, and in turn, I'll send him some of my clients, right? That's how it works. So for you as a realtor, most times those buyers, again, if they're a repeat buyer, they're going to consult their financial advisor prior to purchasing, prior to selling their home. And you want to get those people before they hit the street. I'm always all about getting an inside track on things, and financial advisors is a great way to do it. And also, they'll know who's wealthy, they'll know who's well qualified, and they'll know who isn't. So think about that, so you're not wasting your time anymore. Every client I've ever gotten from a financial advisor has been good. We mentioned this. Lastly, accountants, CPAs, someone's personal accountant. It's great source of business as well. Most times they're connected with banks. However, there are a few that are not out there. Accountants, new accountants that have business, that have a book of business to give. Accountants not only just for personal business, if they, hey, listen, I did Joe Schmo's taxes, here's a buyer, but a lot of times they're connected with well-qualified people to buy a home as well, whether in their firm or in businesses or companies that they have dealings with. They're connected with a lot of well-qualified people that you can get in front of. So accountants are a very good source of business as well, both for on the mortgage side and real estate. So investors, obviously people who are buying because they could buy the property from you, they could flip it, and then they want to resell it. Well, guess what? You got a sale and you got a listing out of it, right? Look at that, 1-2 punch. Go after investors. There's a lot of them out there. I constantly have people reaching out to me who are investors looking for this kind of crazy loan, that kind of crazy loan, because they bought 5 properties cash. Now they want some more money to buy another 3 properties. Always network with investors. Credit repair people, they'll always introduce you to people. They can give you well-qualified buyers, and they're always desperate for business. Financial advisors will give you well-qualified buyers and sellers, and CPAs, public accountants, are usually connected to well-qualified people and have a similar network to the financial advisor. Okay. So when you're creating these groups on here, right, you can run this group much like you would run Facebook. I really don't have to dive into that because kind of we went over that previously of how you can run these groups through Facebook as well. But you can create a group. Let's just create one right now. Name group title. If I type real estate investing, there's 1,000 groups that have that on there. How to market your listing. Upload group logo. Let me take a picture. Let's see. Images. And I wouldn't recommend using generic image because somebody could always do that. I would recommend customizing it, but for the sake of this, we'll just use that. I guess we can use this one. Save image as. Bethel house sales. Now I put a picture on here. You may want to just put a logo somewhat like this because this will kind of dominate the picture, but it's up to you. Description. Have a home to sell. Have a tough listing. On free marketing advice. Whoops. Oh, I just saved that. Hang on. Okay, here we go. So I just saved this on here. How to market your listing, right? I may put something on here. I can always invite others on here, right? Group description, have a home to sell, have a tough listing, want free marketing advice, right? Because that's what I do on here. I could start a conversation, post something, share jobs, an announcement. I could put a picture on here. Very similar to Facebook. Now what we want to do is you want to invite others. I can search all my connections, and the more connections I get, the more LinkedIn is going to blast us out to other people who it thinks may be interested in what this group has to offer. Okay, so click on manage here. Obviously there's nothing posted on here because it's brand new. Templates, classifier queue, blocked users, invited user, pending members, admins, members. You can add an admin if you'd like. Permissions, move jobs, so on and so forth. So there's a lot less to worry about on a LinkedIn group than there is on Facebook. Because again, most people aren't here for business purposes, so there's not going to be a whole lot going on here other than exchanging ideas, and that's the goal. So remember, if you're going to run a group, you have to put valuable content in it. If you're going to network in a group, right? Let's say I wanted to go into a group such as Back to Basics Marketing, right? All kinds of content in here, right? What you want to do is you want to look in here, okay? So let's say there was a guy on here, Scott Vincent, right? Benefit IQ, right? All top producers, how are doing it. So what would I do? I would take a look at his profile, do a little research on this guy, say, is he a good person to connect with? Let's say it was a CPA. I would say yes. I would connect with him. Okay. Go back to the group here. And then I would like his post. Maybe I'll comment and say, hey man, great content. Thanks so much for sharing. Because remember, there's not a lot of content. There's not a lot of social activity going on in LinkedIn like there is on Facebook. So when somebody comments on you or when somebody interacts with whatever you post, you're going to be a lot more likely to look at that than you would be on Facebook, and a lot more likely to take notice because there's just so much less of it going on here. Okay. So when you want to connect with somebody, let's say you're going hunting down an investor, you're hunting down a credit repair person, you're hunting down a financial advisor, CPA, whatever, right? At that point, what I would do, we're going to end with this. Let's see. Who's a top producing realtor? Let's see. Ryan, are you on here? There he is. Boom. I'm going to connect with him. Okay. Take a look at his profile. Oh, he's missing a picture here, right? Profile's pretty good. Let's see another top producing realtor. Let's say if it was an investor, I have a couple of investors on here. Just trying to think. He's not an investor, he's an agent. All right. So let's say I want to connect with him. He's in Westwood. He's up in Bergen County. He's from Remax Elite on here. Some of you guys may know who he is. He's been there for quite a while, right? I'm going to do a little bit of research, find out what he's done, right? He's a Megan's Law Enforcement, or he's a fundraiser and donor for Children's Miracle Network. That's cool. He's got a lot of recommendations on here, which are great. Circle of Excellence 4 years in a row. Right, who he follows. Do we follow a lot of the same people? Do we kind of like, right, is he involved in any kind of marketing? Would he be interested in what I have to offer, or is he completely old school, right? One way of telling whether somebody's old school or not is by looking at their profile. Typically, if it's kind of empty, they probably are. Okay. I have a new connection, Ryan Wingfield. So he just connected with me, all right? So now I'm connected with him, okay? All right. So what I would do is I would message him. And I'd say something like, if we didn't know each other, hey, Ryan, thanks for connecting. If he was a new agent or saw he was a new agent, I'm going after a new agent, I'd say something like, best wishes in real estate, right? You're going to kill it, I'm sure. Send, right? He's going to get that. Thanks for connecting. Best wish in real estate. You're going to kill it, I'm sure, right? Something encouraging, something positive, right? We all know we like to feel good, so it's always good to do that to other people as well. Okay. And then what I would do is if he doesn't have his phone number on here, of course, since he's a realtor, I could just Google his name out there and I could find his phone number. And probably the next day or so, I would call him and say, hey man, thanks for connecting me on LinkedIn. Saw you were a new realtor. You've been doing this for a couple months here. I always like to help out new realtors and whatnot. Would love to sit down with you and see how I could help you. See if there's anything I could do to help you. Morris County is a real competitive market. I've been doing business here for a while. I do business with a lot of realtors there, so I could definitely hook you up with some connections that would help you grow your business. Could we grab lunch one day? Right, for a new realtor, assuming he says yes, right? At that point, if he's a brand new realtor, again, am I seeing how much business I can get from him right away? No. Does Ryan have 20 buyers to send me? I don't know. Maybe you do, right? But realistically, most realtors don't have that much, right? Especially a new realtor. But what am I going to do? I'm going to see if Ryan probably knows top producers in his office that if I do a good job for Ryan, he'll probably introduce me to them as well. And that's the power of LinkedIn. So whether it's an investor, credit repair specialist, financial advisors, CPAs, you're not seeing them as the end all. You're seeing them as the door, as the gateway to open the floodgates up to other connections within LinkedIn, other people that they know that they can introduce you to as well. So that's really the ultimate goal here with LinkedIn, is growing your network from local people, reaching out to them. If Ryan puts a post on there and I'm trying to get his business, I'm going to like it. I'm going to comment. I'm going to say, hey man, great listing. Hey, looks like an awesome house. Great job on that, right? He's going to see me do that on a regular basis. So when I call him, he's not going to be like, who the heck is this? He's going to recognize my name and my face because I've been interacting with him on a regular basis on a platform that most people aren't. So remember, a lot of people aren't interacting with him on here. So if I'm interacting with him, right, I'm a lender that's at the top of his mind, right? If you're interacting with an investor and they're showcasing a new flip or something like that, right? You may want to like their post, comment on it. Hey, great flip. That's a great location. Good choice or whatever. Encourage people. So when you reach out to them, say, hey, listen, I have a lot of buyers. I do a lot of flips myself. I think maybe we could help each other. Maybe I could find buyers for your listings. I've had a lot of success with listing flips in the past or REO properties. Would love a shot at helping us grow each other's business. After you've interacted with them on a platform like LinkedIn, again, because there's not a lot of interaction, so you won't get lost in the mix as much. Once you reach out, it's very easy for them to connect you with, oh, wait a minute, I saw you liked my post. Yeah, this person has been interacting with me on a regular basis. All right, so that's the goal here with LinkedIn. If you want it, you can create groups, but I would certainly recommend joining groups and networking with people within those groups by liking, commenting, and interacting with their posts. So then when you do reach out to them, they are familiar with you. For you realtors, I would go after investors because you can get 2 transactions per investor per deal on that. Credit repair specialists, they always need business, and they can introduce you with a lot of people and give you well-qualified buyers. Financial advisors and CPAs, again, well-qualified buyers, and they have a good network of people that they can continue to introduce you to. So LinkedIn, about 15 minutes a week, that's what people spend on it. But again, the average income is over $100,000 per user. So again, you want to be on here networking with that good network of people on here that can help introduce you to more clients and other referral partners as well. All right, guys, so that's it for today. If you have any more questions, please let me know.